Patchwork in Time. When I was a little boy, I remember riding down the street in the station wagon, sitting behind my father, looking up at the trees in the spring, the old oak trees, just before they budded, and then the water puddles. They were just waiting for me to stomp my feet in them. Raindrops sitting on the windshield after a heavy spring rain, and the sound of dogs barking in the distance. This Saturday morning, I went downtown and took these shots at downtown Martin, Tennessee. Back in the 50s, my father worked at a place called the Weekly County Press. And then the sound of lawnmowers mowing grass on a spring morning in the distance. Weeds and grass growing together. The peace of the pasture. My uncle owned a farm and he had old tractors. I remember him firing those up and going across the hills and doing his work, planting crops and pulling hard items, large items, an old farm truck. These dogs, probably yard was full of them. I'd say 6 or 7 of these dogs. Don't be deceived by the wagging of the tail. On this particular day, I stopped along the road and saw this man, older fellow, mowing his grass, and he has a lawnmower with an engine on it. And that's the distinction between the two little boys. Theirs are just the base, no engine, yet they're pushing that lawnmower along as if they have an engine, and they're cutting grass just like this older gentleman. They stop, turn, go back around. The little boy looks at the camera as he pushes his last lawnmower out. This house sat on the corner of New Street. And in 10 years I was there, I never saw anyone inhabit this place. One day I put my camera through the window and saw this mess. Southern Mill Railroad crossing. Loved trains when I was a boy. Never rode one, but caught this photograph or video of a train sitting on Highway 45 South between Milan and Jackson. Pulled off, crawled up inside this thing and took these videos, the shots of the surface, very peeled paint, interior, kind of a nice old electric-like print, a little editing to the picture, the surfaces, the shadows, the grays, the darks, the greens, made the photograph pop. Really enjoyed this particular effect in the green and the orange paint. Made for a nice contrast with the shadows. Southern Mill on a Saturday morning. The silver and the clear blue sky as a backdrop. And the big John Deere tractor waiting outside in this old piece of fallen wood. Kind of a piece of sculpture with the cows mooing in the distance. Here again, red feeder on the hill. You can hear the cows in the distance. Trailer parks are in abundance around Martin. This one's called Greenway Estate. Newly remodeled. Look at this. Can you tell what's been remodeled? They all look the same on the outside. And unless you're a rebel, I guess you wouldn't like being in rebel country. This blue girl's bicycle sit against the side of the house. Another trailer park called Prairie View Mobile Home Park. This is the view as you drive by Prairie View. Notice the moped, kind of a cool color. This mobile home park was out on Highway 45 just outside of Martin. I think of all these particular mobile homes in this community, only 2 are occupied. This one, I don't believe, was occupied any longer. You can see the children's toys out front. And then the American flag, Old Glory. serving as a curtain in the window. Mailboxes no longer in use, some of them in use. There's a payphone. I don't think it works. This mobile home was right outside of Martin. You see what's left of it. It's been stripped down. And then right across the road was a line of mailboxes. Some open, stuffed with mail. Residents are gone. These dandelions, white afros, I call them. And then Hineswood Road, the road west out of Martin. That's it. Thanks for taking this tour with me.